dia nak perlu keluar ke 32 ataupun dia nak top 16?
Oh, actually there is.
Siapa? Nombor kejap. Aku atas motor, bagi aku check dulu. Kau swim. Nombor 7. Okay, dia ni dah menang dah by run. So dia standby untuk top 16 je lah. Okay, so nanti top 16 baru dia keluar? Yes, betul. Top 16 baru keluar. Tak payah nak meramaikan lagi dekat starting line tu. Copy, Bob. Ya. So, Prince of Drift versus Wong Sifu kan? Terus second run kan?
Time to start talking. But the water over there is like...
Acai dengar ke atau pos 2, Marshal pos 2 minta tolong kelilingkan kawasan yang air bertakung tu, maksudnya pam air tu simpan.
I'm live. We're live. Good afternoon and welcome back to Malacca. We're here at the Malacca Marshlands, also known as Malacca International Motorsports Circuit. We're working on pumping the water off the track so that we can continue. Riga right now has had some plumbing work done. However, it's not enough to counteract the torrential rain that we just had. It's very, very flooded over there. We're going to be working on clearing that so that we can continue. We just had a driver's briefing, and a majority of the drivers said that they would wish to continue today's race. So we're back here for the National Drift Series round number 3 and Kings of Drift Series round number 1 in Malacca International Motorsports Circuit. Today's event is brought to you by KBS, Retro Havoc, Tourism Malaysia, Chuti Malaysia, Motorsports Association of Malaysia, Exquisite, Motorsports Club, Old But Gold, Little Joe, Ames Hotel, Hotel Metro Square, and Adrenaline Impact with all of the video work. The drivers are getting the cars ready. They're back out on the track, ready to start rolling. It's wet and damp out here, but the rain has all but stopped. It's a light drizzle at best right now. We've got Mike and Vernon, and just rolling into frame right now, we have Bullseye. Jason Lim is not continuing with the race today because he's had car swapping issues. However, he is teaching scuba diving lessons right now because he has a captive audience. So if you need any scuba diving lessons, speak to Jason Lim. He's available. And I think now's a good time to start with the track in the way that it is. Again, we're pumping out the water from the bits of the track that need to be pumped. It is really like the Malacca marshlands over here right now. We're not going to do practice runs now. No. We're going to go straight to it. Okay, so we're going to be starting off with the second run of our 7th bracket, which is the Prince of Drift and Wong Sifu. So we have an S15 and an FT86 for you. You can see them right now up at the starting blocks. Tengku Jan will be chasing, Wong Sifu leading. There's still a lot of water over Ariga. I wonder how that's going to affect our drivers, but not only Riga, the transition before the final clipping point on the front end is still kind of damp. Mildly damp. I mean, you could probably swim in it, but it's only damp. You can do snorkeling with just without breathing apparatus over there. It's just damp. You don't need to get the air tank. You're okay. You don't need Jason Lim for that section. This section over here, by the grandstand, yeah, you could go pretty deep. Might even find a megalodon in that pool over there. That's pretty deep. National Drift Series round number 3, Drift Kings round number 1 today, here 12th November 2022 at the Malacca International Motorsports Circuit. Brought to you by KBS, Retro Havoc, Tourism Malaysia, Cuti Cuti Malaysia, Motorsports Association of Malaysia, Exquisite Motorsport Club, Old But Gold, Little Joe, Ames Hotel, Hotel Metro Square, and Adrenaline Impact. And of course, RS200 Racing.
That I haven't read the whole day because I can't read it.
Rejab. Aku nak rejab.
Lapar. Cepatlah, lambat dah ni.
Tolong hantar Alung dengan Rejab.
So we're into our top 32 right now.
Alung dengan Rejab dulu. Kita nak tutup pair.
Last 2 pair-ups of our left-hand bracket. We've already got winners in our top 16. We've got Dorigo, Lee Man Hon. We've got Nash Towing, all going through to the top 16. Our drivers warming up tyres as they approach the starting line.
Ali, golong kau. Ali, golong kau.
Beautiful sound of the V8 there. Waiting for our officials to flag off. Again, we've got the Prince of Drift in his S15, and he is going to be chasing Wong Sifu in his FT86. Visibility is now much better. The cars might still steam up a little bit, but not so much. No more rain happening, just big puddles on the track.
Cepatlah, kita dah lambat ni.
And today, joined by Bullseye, we've got Vernon from Drift Kings and also Mike from Drift Kings doing all the adjudication and judging, choosing who is going to be going through to the podium. Lots of loyal fans in the grandstand right now waiting for the action to begin. They've endured the rain. They've had food from our sponsor, Bullseye.
We didn't.
Oh, we didn't sponsor them. You didn't sponsor the food for everyone in the band. Oh. Never mind. So up at the starting blocks, we have the Prince of Drift. And we have Wong Sifu, who will be doing the leading in his FT86 2JZ. He's had a couple of issues with his clutch, and today now he's had some issues with the weather, stopping his run halfway through. All of our drivers ready to go. The rain's starting to pick up a little bit. There's a bit of drizzle. You can see it in the puddles on the track. Again, this is the National Drift Series round number 3, and this is Drift Kings round number 1. Brought to you by KBS, Retro Havoc, Tourism Malaysia, Cuti Cuti Malaysia, Motorsport Association of Malaysia, Exquisite Auto Club, Old But Gold, RS200 Engine Oil, Little Joe, Ames Hotel, Hotel Metro Square, and Adrenaline Impact with the video feeds for you today.
Kamera ni boleh jalan?
Boleh. Tapi dia agak susah sikit lah, dia nak pusing. Dia kena cover Riga.
Cuba dia pen kejap.
Cuba turun lagi tunjuk Riga.
We're on to the last two brackets of our top 32 on the left-hand side. So coming up for you now, we've got the Prince of Drift, Wong Sifu. And then after that, we are going to be running back PD10 and Ben Ike Speed.
So we're gonna lose that camera. We don't have the Riga camera. Yeah, because it's having a glitch. So we're gonna use this camera to chase all the way past Riga and then.
We've got a different camera feed coming out for you today.
Yarul, yoi, boleh.
Since the rain has happened, one of our cameras is slightly damaged by the rain, possibly. So we're going to have a different camera angle for you to view all the way through Riga. Here we can see Denku-jan in the Toyo Tire S15. And he is up against Wong Sifu, who will be leading this run with his FT86 2JZ. Marshals are good to go, and they're about to flag them off. Drivers are good to go, and Wong Sifu is on the outside, and he's going to be accelerating through to take the lead. All right, here we go, down the straight. Initiating, going through our clipping point on the rear. Denku-jan trying to catch up to Eric Wong Sifu. Eric doing a nice clean run. My goodness, that is wet. Oh, is that going to affect the cars? It's ripped off the rear bumper of the FT86. But both of our drivers are doing a phenomenal job of driving the track. A big round of applause for both of our drivers. There's no way a regular drifter could do that. They're both stupendous. That was a fantastic performance. You've got the replay here. They're going to see how things go on the replay. Really good driving from both of our drifters. Prince of Drift straightening up a touch more, but going through Riga, the water it was just flying everywhere. Bigger than your smoke from tyres, for sure, but both of the drivers very competently finished the lap in beautiful form. So leaving that to our judges. One more replay, because it looks so good. We want to see that water splash again. Initiation from Wong Sifu. Small correction from Wong Sifu there, and the Prince of Drift is doing a good job of catching up and getting more proximity through Riga. But even through that water, they managed to keep things going. And there you go. Our judges have scored the bout. Both drivers coming away with good scores. A bit of damage to the rear bumper of Wong Sifu's car there. Water pressure higher than air pressure for sure. Now, next up on the blocks, we've got PD Tan leading with his 2JZ 180SX rather, and we've got Ben Ike Speed in the S15, chasing on this run. Earlier on, the run was written off because weather conditions were so bad. Both of our drivers had nearly zero visibility, and now we're going to run it back. And out they go. We've got the lead car on the outside line there, PD Tan with his 2JZ 180SX. Pushing it hard, and Ben Ike Speed following. Nice initiation from PD Tan right on the clipping point. Lots of angle from Ben Ikespeed, costing him proximity. Lots of adjustment by PD Tan. Bits of the car falling off with the water pressure. Some straightening up from Ben Ikespeed there. And a bit of contact as well. I feel that, there's a free bumper. If anyone needs a bumper for an S15, there's one on the track right now. Our judges are discussing what went on. Conditions are still very bad, which just goes to show how good the run was from Eric Wong Sifu and the Prince of Drift. They did a fantastic job of completing that lap with the conditions at hand. So here we've got the instant replay for PD Tan. Flattening up a little bit, but the car not taking the damage too well, and then Ben Ikespeed not really knowing how to handle things there as they went into the fourth clipping zone. Water causing all sorts of troubles there, pulling off the bumpers of the cars. So how did that go? According to our judges, how did that last run go, Bullseye?
So, like we said in the briefing, on the flooding area we cannot judge as much, but we can see PD Tan literally retires from the race, stop the race after the water, and then Ben can still continue. So in that case, we decide to give 10-0 to Ben.
I see, so Ben goes through to our top 16. And here we have Farin in the lead car and Giti Hira chasing. There's no proximity at all right now, and Farzin has straightened up. I think there may be water in the cockpit of Farzin's car. Some issues going on there. So Farzin's car is actually the V8, the only V8 we have here today, the LS15. Naturally aspirated, running at 500 horsepower. Now these drift cars are not like regular road cars. There's nothing stopping the water from going up and into the engine bay. So I believe on the V8 of the LS1, the air intake is right down nearby the ground. So that might be causing him some issues when he goes through these deep puddles. So we're switching up right now for PD Tan and Ben Ikespeed. So Ben Ikespeed is going to be in the lead with his S15 on the left-hand side. PD Tan chasing right now. As they come down the straight, Ben Scandinavian flicking into the first transition. Just now, Ben managed to get some points, but PD Tan gave up, and it looks like PD Tan straightened up a lot just now as well in Riga, and again is having issues through the last section. He's driving straight right now. A little bit of drift as well out of there. We got Farzin out here by the bandstand, and his car is steaming quite a lot. The V8 is having issues. FRT team's V8, Farzin is having issues with his car after he ran through the puddles just now. He's had to cut the engine off. I think the air intake on the V8 is super low to the ground, and it just ate a whole bunch of water. Or should I say drank it? Because the V8 intake is like right down at the bottom. It's like LS1, it's like, it just drank water. Yeah, I think Farzine's V8 just drank a whole bunch of water, so it's going to cause him some issues. Giti Hira might be able to continue and move forward due to a potential retirement. Let's see, Farzine's opening and closing the door. So Farzine has just been given the green light to turn the air filter, which hangs super low on the LS1, to an upward position, which would give him a better chance to drink less. So right now we're going to take a little bit of time for this run with Farzine and Giti Hira. Giti Hira with his S15 and Farzine with the S15 and V8. The V8 has, as I've been saying, the air intake. If we get to see the bonnet up, maybe we can check out what the engine looks like and you'll have a better understanding of his situation. And that's up against Farzine with a naturally aspirated V8. LS1. Ooh, look at the steam popping out there. Naturally aspirated, rocking up with 500 horsepower. Very, very good, responsive, torquey engine. We've also got word of some of our racers in the top 32 that don't want to race right now in this condition, and it is understandable. It could potentially damage their car, and if you have engine failure from the coil pack getting wet, you can cause a lack of explosion in your pistons and blow out the cylinder or two. Just like one of our cars earlier on today. Yeah, lots of water inside these cars right now. You can see the steam coming out. But Farin says he's good to go. So right now, the second run, just now, both of our drivers scored 0-0. Let's see how things turn out here. Winner takes all. Giti Hira with the 2JZ S15 taking the lead with V8 LS15 from Farin chasing. Lots of angle from Giti Hira. Farin really trying to catch up. Shallow angle there by Farin. Steering all over the place from Farin. And it looks like he's understeered into the corner. Again, that could just be the amount of water aquaplaning, essentially, on the track. And it looks like we have a result. Looks like Farzine is moving forward as he continued to drift, as Giti Hira gave up, essentially, due to track conditions, potentially. However, Farzine does move forward to the top 16. I mean, it is unfortunate that these conditions are happening. However, it's the way that it is. There's not much you can do about it. You got to work with what you've got. We're moving now back to one of our previous battles. We're running on the second run of our P16 Noon and P17 Villain Hang battle, the two R32 cars. One is a 2JZ and Villain Hang's is a 1J. There was some impact on the track earlier on. Noon put too much angle in and Villain Hang had no choice but to make a bit of contact. Villain Hang leading, a wheel off there. Noon doing his best to close the gap and get proximity. Both cars about to enter Riga. That's some deep water and Noon looks like he's straightened out, but Villain Hang has continued on through. So therefore, it does look like Villain Hang, in my books, will have gone through there. Noon has spun out also on the fourth clipping point. Again, it's unfortunate that we've got these conditions, but it is the way it is. And with that, Villain Hang does go through. Maybe Noon's R32 has drunk a bit too much water on the track and is now stalled out there on the fourth clipping point. Let's see what we can do. We're going to get the towing car out to tow him. I can see, was that Jeff JZX? Oh no, there's Villain Hang at the back of the track, sorry. It's just the luminous back end of the car. He's driving through puddles very, very slowly. Next up to the blocks, we're continuing with Estan in our right-hand side bracket of the top 32. We've got Estan versus Wei Shern. Two SR20 cars going head-to-head, both running 15-inch wheels. So it's going to be interesting to see how good these guys do against each other. Both of them very, very confident with beautiful performances in the dry, virtually not even steering the wheel, just using their feet and using the throttle to control their angle. But in the rain, things might be different. You can see right there that Noon is getting pushed off past the finish line. Towing trucks out and is going to go and assist. So we're going to see what happened right here. Noon chasing and Villain Hang getting a nice initiation, getting the back end off, maybe one wheel. Noon not able to close the gap at all. Villain Hang looks like he sort of straightened out a little bit, corrected a bit, but it is very wet out there. Noon just straightens up and stops drifting at that point in Riga, giving Villain Hang the win at this stage. But then Noon spins out, stalls, and it is all she wrote. Queued up on the blocks right now, we've got two 180SXs, both running 15-inch wheels, both running SR20s, both very, very good. Podium finishes in the National Drift Series round number 2. We're just waiting for the tow truck to hook up to the R32 right now of Noon. And there we go, we're good. Nice big, as he pulls the R32 along and through the puddles ahead of him. Estan, aka Stan, taking the lead, and Wei Shun doing a bit of chasing. And they are off. Stan taking the lead, Wei Shun chasing. On the outside, Wei Shun very far behind, not getting super close, doing his best to close the distance right now. Let's see what happens when we go through Riga. Wei Shun straightens up and Stan manages to keep drifting, but also straightens up a little bit later on. Both cars have straightened up for a second time just before the fourth clipping point. Obviously the water causing huge problems for our drivers. We're going to wait and see what our judges have to say right now. Right now we're currently discussing track conditions. Some of the drivers, understandably, are hesitant to get out on the track with the conditions the way they are. Rain is starting to pick up a little bit as well, but the puddles of water are definitely causing big problems for our drivers. But again, back to the first run we had with the Prince of Drift and Wong Sifu. They did a really amazing job of making the wet track look dry, doing a fabulous job of getting to the end of the track, and they got a big round of applause from our audience here at the grandstand, rightly so. But right now, up at the blocks, we've got Lawrence Lim in the lead, and we've got the Chase Rejab Auto Spa. However, I'm not sure what exactly is going to happen. Right now our judges are deep in discussion as to how we should proceed as the rain starts to pick up yet again. The conditions out there are pretty treacherous, and we might need to call it a day. Not sure as yet. Final decision is not in. The drivers, of course, want to continue, but it's not good for them or the cars. Prone to get more accidents as well as the rain starts to pick up and the water starts to get even deeper. Right now we're going to have a bit of a driver meeting, and we're going to find out exactly what is going to happen as we progress in the National Drift Series round number 3 here at the Malacca International Motorsport Circuit, and Drift Kings round number 1. We've got Mike and Vernon, and they do not think we should continue potentially, but we're going to call one more driver meeting and we will find out what the final verdict is. It's very unfortunate, but force majeure does cause issues like this. Let's see. But as the rain is starting to pick up again, things are looking pretty grim. Lots of conversations happening right now between teams, officials, and our judges. And of course, we got our Motorsports Association of Malaysia. They're here making sure that things are nice and safe. So I'm sure if we did halt proceedings, it would be a fair decision. So I'm here with Jan, the Prince of Drift. So he went out and had a really good run with Eric Wong Sifu just now. How was it like on the track? I'm going to bring you over to the camera. Sorry to pull you out like this, but yeah, if you can come in a little bit more. There you go. So how was your run with Eric Wong Sifu?
Well, I didn't expect it to pond so bad. Yeah, it was terrible. I couldn't drive. I basically took a shower 3 times in a run. So by the end of the run, I decided I don't think I should be able to continue again. You know, I mean, we've got another round tomorrow, and save the car for tomorrow because I think there's a high chance that water. The water will end up in the engine, and that's it. No, yeah.
Right, I mean, it's fair enough. You got a standing ovation from our audience because it was such a good run, actually. Both you and Eric put in a stupendous run. Even in the wet, you guys made it look like dry. I mean, how did it feel? I know it was wet, but compared to the dry, how did that feel for you in your car?
It was bad. It's like taking a dive into the swimming pool and not being able to see where you're going, you know. But, you know, I mean, we're drivers, so we roughly know where we are going, so we keep it planted and move forward. That's the best I could do, but, you know, it was bad, yeah.
Definitely agreed with you on that. So right now, our judges are calling a meeting, so I think you've got to head off. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jen. Basically, they're going to decide right now, along with our drivers, whether or not we can continue with today's proceedings. The rain is picking up here again at the Malacca marshlands, and the swamp is starting to roll back in. Weather has not been good. I mean, I can see some clear skies up ahead, but it's not likely that we're going to have good news, unfortunately. But fair enough. As the Prince of Drift, Jan, did say, you do have another round to look forward to tomorrow, as do our drivers. And if you get water going into the engine, flooding the engine, it's really not good for the cars. It will kill the cars, and then there's no tomorrow. So potentially save the cars today and have a good dry run tomorrow. Okay, time to go check out what the driver's briefing is going to give us as a result. And until then, from the Malacca International Motorsports Circuit, we'll see you soon.
I'm OMW, on my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. Watch me walk away, putting myself on display. I'm OMW, on my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. Watch me walk away, putting myself on display. do. I'm OMW. OMW. On my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. Watch me walk away, putting myself on display.
S15, this is a naturally aspirated V8 engine. Sounds beautiful. It's the only V8 in the paddocks today. Now, he felt good, but he hasn't had much time to practice. Looking nice and clean around the S15. Very confident with his teammates last round. He's had a few improvements done to his car. He's been off to Thailand, been practicing here, and he's made improvements for easier handling. He's done some realignment of the car to make things easier, even easier than he had it in round 2. And it does look very smooth from Danny Yip. It should be potentially similar. Another S15 out of the same garage. Let's see what he can do. Nice movements and transitions. Maybe not as confident because he's in another car, and earlier on he was driving someone else's car. He drove Jason Lim's S15, so he's had a very busy morning switching pink anime Drift Factory S15. It's looking hot. Let's see what he can do. As he rounds the U-turn, cars are doing up to 110 plus kilometers an hour as they enter this transition. Lots of angle, and he's in the ditch, so that's no points for Eric Ho. I haven't seen him out practicing today, so that might be an issue with the lack of practice. But now we got Marcus Lim in a 180SX. He's running 15-inch tires, 15-inch rims. So I believe it's an SR20 car. 4-cylinder SR20 pushing out everything it's got. It'll be well over 300 wheel horsepower. Minor straightening there in Riga. And he's having issues as he transitions into the final clipping point. Looking okay, but big issues through Riga just now. This could be one of the fastest cars down the strip. It'd be good to find out how fast he actually goes. This amazing anti-lag. Very smooth transitions. On it all the way. The wheel looks good. There's lots of movement in the front wheel, but keeping the back end in the same place all the way, nice and tight through the... They were having a good time. So let's see how he does on his run in practice today. Ooh. Car sounds different, very aggressive. Lots of, a bit of straightening up there through Riga. A lot of angle changing, one wheel off there, which will not be frowned upon, I don't believe, but goes off in that run. Oh, so we're back to the second run now. We've got Vinny Go in his A31 Safiro. Again, he had power steering issues this morning, and he appears to have no issues with steering right now. Let's see what the judges have to say. And so he's since changed his gearbox from an R154, so like a JZ gearbox, to a sequential gearbox for reliability. And now we've got Denku Jan in his S15, putting it down, quickly running out and getting a lap in. Very solid angle. It looks extremely relaxed. You can see the front wheels, the tire paint, just looks like it's casually rolling through the course. Now it is Estan in his S15 SR20. One of the few cars running 15-inch wheels, doing some Scandinavian flicking. Getting nice angle. Looking good. Straightening a bit, but then hitting a nice transition. Going through Riga quite well. I think he had got his clipping points. Lots of angle here. Nice and clean into the last clipping point. So this is the morning setup, the LS15. It makes sense. It's like an LS engine in a 15. It's an S15. So LS15, a big fat NA V8 pushing out 500 horsepower. Listen to that. Oh. That is beautiful, the sound. And I can't see his car for the smoke. Fat transition. Full angle. Oh, going a bit wide there. Had to lay off the throttle to stay. Got a bit of a... Oh no, it's a different car. Different car. I'm hearing the sound from a different car. So Danny Yip is doing a lot of Scandinavian flicking down the back end. Not whipping that handbrake. Full momentum. Again, he was in Thailand competing recently, so he's changed his car setup for easier handling. And the car looked really, really good through the track there. Nice. Jason Lim's 2JZ has like around 600 horsepower, thereabouts, or 500, 600. It's a pretty average Scandinavian flick in there. Straightening up the wheels. I don't think he's used to this setup at all. There's some wheel straightening earlier on in the transition. And through Riga, he's switching angles of the car, trying to kick it out a little bit more into the third and final clipping point. Doesn't look great in my... We got eyelashes. Eyelashes, Eric Ho. Eric Ho is coming down. He just got no points just now. He's got some tyre straightening issues here. Late on the power there. Bonnet's flapping around. Not just, he is batting an eyelid, look. He literally is batting an eyelid with his bonnet flapping. The angle not looking great. The consistency of the angle was not perfect from Eric Ho there. And I did good to get some speeds, entry speeds for you. We'll try and get that sorted out. We're going to try and get some entry speeds for you and find out exactly how things are going. A bit twitchy with the power there. Lots of wheel movement. But again, some of these cars are not running full-on angle kits. They're running like cut, chopped knuckles, etc. With his huge, what's a 900 horsepower setup. Tarkoon, aka Moo. Big angle. Lots of anti-lag. Oh, some straightening there, unfortunately. I'm reading the body language of Bullseye, and he didn't look happy with that. Getting a bit too close on the Riga on the inside, not really hitting the clipping point there. But shifting through gears down the straight. Let's see what his initiation is. Looks like a bit of a heavy turn in. No Scandinavian flick. This looks good. Oh, a bit of a flick. Straighten up. Again, well. And here we go. Let's see what he does in the third and final clipping point there. See him just now. So he's only getting out here right now on his second run in qualifying. Missed his first run. So he's got to make up for things right now. I hope he's had enough practice this morning. Looking pretty smooth and quite confident, getting a nice clipping but straightening. And that is it. He's straightened up. He's going to score no points on that. Moving on, Roccolo, a bit of a veteran. Doing very well in round number 2. But having a couple of issues, I'd say, with his setup, because he's changed to a new car. So this is the second time we're going to see Roccolo in the S15. Great sounding car. Looks good right now. Hitting that clipping point through Riga. Nice clean transition into the last clipping point. You can see Roccolo running back past the paddocks, past the grandstand rather. Wheel lifting off the floor there from Nim. 3-wheel motion. Missing the clip point a little bit on Riga, but doing a nice job on the fourth and final. And things went completely wrong. So Wei Shun, he's running an SR20, right? So he's running the stock SR20 and has taken punishment. How much horsepower is he running in the stock SR20? 250, it looks like 300 plus. I think he's got 300 plus horsepower, running on 15-inch wheels, looking nice and smooth. Clean transition, very smooth. You can see why he's won the chance to go run in the Oman Drift Series. The car looked good, he looked good, and I'm sure he'll be able to hit the clipping point in his next qualifying run. We've got rolling up right now PD Yap in a 180SX 2JZ. Oh, went straight through that transition, the S transition. Looking a little bit manic, straightening that front wheel, something that we just, like, for example, in contrast to Wei Shun had a nice consistent angle of the front wheel, and we can see there with PD App the steering angle clutch setup. He also had some issues with his rear suspension traction. He's got helper springs in the back end, which is causing a lot of bounce, maybe causing grip issues. So the car's grip is going from very grippy to soft to grippy, which might cause him some issues with angle. And there's some straightening up there as well from Wong Sifu. 0 points. Okay, part of the Westlake crew. 180SX, Wilson Chang. A bit of angle changing there. Looking pretty hot through Riga. Bit of angle change. Oh, and he's straightened out. I'm not sure if that would count as a 0, just like Eric Wong, but Lee Mun-hon skipped round number 2 and looking to do well today in round number 3. He does have one of the most powerful 2JZs out here. 700 horsepower, no practice at all, just jumping straight back in. He's been too busy building cars for people to get practice in. So let's see how that weighs on him today. Looking okay, I think. He only had gears number 1, 2 and 4. That was all he was using. So he's doing a lot of clutch kicking in fourth gear rather, because he was missing third. But this time he's got a new gearbox, another CD 009 Fairlady gearbox. So this is a proper full-on Fairlady. Oh, gets a bit of a straightening there. Again, 0 points. So he's going to be using this as a practice. He was out on the practice this morning. He said it was quite slippery. Shamil Ahmed in his S15, doing a little flick into his transition. 2JZ. Nice clean angle, continuous power down through the transition there. Inside, outside. Did he hit the clipping point in Riga? Yep. Looks good. Pretty smooth run, not too much smoke. Car number 130, S15. I didn't get a chance to speak to him earlier. Pretty sure he's going to be running a 2J. Sounds pretty menacing as it flicks in. Wow. Oh my goodness, this is a powerful car. Wow. Oh, wow. That was, he's taken like different lines here. He turned that into a whole different a whole different line. Up on the blocks, 180SX. Key. Another Thai dude. So this is the Dorigo understudy. Another big horsepower 2JZ. Three-wheel motion as he gets the clipping point into Riga. Looking good though, nice and smooth. We are already moving forward into the afternoon. The clouds are in the sky, but the track is very dry, well, quite dry compared to this morning. Roccolo looking good, nice and smooth and wide through the clipping point in Riga. Smooth transition into the fourth clipping point. Looking good, sounding. What's happened to Nim? Okay, so Nim has just moved back a little bit. He's got issues with the car. Wei Shun going nice and wide through the first clipping point. Good transition, smooth control of the car. Front wheels got like virtually no twitch. He's just sitting in the cockpit doing virtually nothing. Car must be really, really well set up. He's just sitting there, taking it easy. It's all the car out. No need to change, just maintain a little bit. And he's had today's practice to get a feel for the track. And he said he felt good this morning. He felt good, he felt happy. Felt happy to be talking to me. And he's out here right now in his 180SX, laying down some rubber. Quite a reasonable first transition. Oh, and it looks like he's gone all out there and he's straightened up. Unfortunately, from Riga to the fourth and he just hasn't had much time to test the car. Maybe if you see the back end of his car, the back end, the suspension moves a lot. He said he's got helper springs in, and the back end bounces a lot, so you get a lot of traction issues, which of course your angle. Let's see how he goes. Just now he had issues with this transition. Nice deep angle, and that was a nice transition. 100% in your practice, your qualifying rather. However, if you don't qualify, if you get another zero, it's game over. End game. So maybe it's better to just get an average score and sit somewhere in the middle and hope someone else messes up. So another car, another 180SX that I think got 0 points just now. He's doing well now, Wilson Chang. Oh, it looked a bit dodgy from the Riga transition into drivers from Brazil, but they couldn't make it today, unfortunately. But right now is practices, and then this is official qualifying. Lee Man Hon right now in his official qualifying round number 2 in his very high-powered 2JZ 700 horsepower S14. Looking pretty smooth. Smoke has not settled other side of the prize-giving ceremony over at the hotel. We're going to be over at Ames Hotel having a nice little dinner and prize-giving ceremony. So if you can join us, please do. Ivan Chu Crab Walker on the track right now. The only VQ doing a bit of straightening up with the wheels, unfortunately. Not an entirely smooth run. Looking good, lots of smoke though. I'm willing him on. So now, Samuel Ahmed rolling out in his S15 2J, losing traction, doing a flick. Oh, consistent through that corner. Transition into Riga, a bit wobbly on the entry, getting a nice set of points through the clipping though, and taking it nice and easy through the fourth clipping point. The Motorsports circuit is going to be. Again, brought to you by KBS Retro Havoc, Tourism Malaysia, MAM, Exquisite Auto, OBG, Little Joe, Ames Hotel, Hotel Metro Square. Here we got Dorigo in his S15. Lots of power. And taking off. Pushing down the power. And a nice big flick into the first initiation. Nice transition. Steady on the steering. Lovely wide angle there. Oh, a bit of correction on the front wheel. Again there as well, but getting the back end wrapped right around the apex of the track. Again, loving the back end games as we move deeper into round number 3 and out into Group C of qualifying. PD Tan here in his 180SX. Nice transition. He hasn't done anything to the car since the last round. Looking quite good with the steering, not too much correction. I don't know how that went. I couldn't see the front wheels there. 2JZs. Lawrence's 2JZ running 500 horsepower. Born and bred in Malacca. Lawrence could potentially be spending more time on the MIMC track than anyone else because he lives here. Teacher Lawrence seems to be doing quite well here. Lao Shi. A bit far away. No, it's just the angle from the 4th clipping. Let's see how he does down the back end, close to the clipping point. Looks good. Oh, a bit of wheel wobble. Not driver input there. The front end looks a little bit manic on this car. Maybe some of the bushings are a touch worn. Not really sure. Sounds like an SR20 to me. I mean, my goodness. I really need rehab. I need some carbohydrates. So I just had eggs for breakfast. It wasn't enough. I knew I should have done something. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Malacca International Motorsports Circuit. I'm Peter Davis, and I've been the MC/commentator for today. Now we have the results of the drivers' briefing, and it appears that our drivers have decided, upon revisiting the track in the wet condition, that they do not wish to continue for today. So unfortunately, today's proceedings have ended, but we are back here again for Drift Kings round number 2 tomorrow on Sunday. And the scores for today's round 1 of Drift Kings will be updated online as per Mike and Vernon from Drift Kings in conjunction with National Drift Series Bullseye. All their judging will be put together and all the scores will be tallied, and we'll know who has gone through and who hasn't. But stay tuned tomorrow as we have another day full of exciting drifting and tandem battles. I can't wait to see you there. So from everyone here at the bandstand and everyone at home watching on the live stream, thank you very much for joining us. And goodbye from the Malacca swamplands here at Malacca International Motorsports Circuit. Bye guys, see you tomorrow.
I'm OMW, on my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. Watch me walk away, putting myself on display. OMW. OMW. On my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. Watch me